To other news making headlines, and the World Bank has cautioned commercial banks in Kenya on the growing sovereign debt risk issue due to heavy investments in government securities, which have risen by about 150 billion shillings in the last 6 months. Sovereign debt is borrowing by a national government, usually through bonds, bills or loans to fund public investment and support the economy. Here's TV's Brian George with the details.
Sovereign debt could carry the risk that a government may default on its financial obligations, like bonds, or impose regulations that negatively affect foreign exchange agreements. The multilateral lender says the exposure of Kenyan banks in Kenya to government securities remains at an all-time high, with the lenders holding approximately 2.2 trillion shillings in government securities, which is equivalent to about 35% of domestic debt and about 27% of total banking sector assets.
I am sure you are very keen when data and figures were being presented by the Principal Secretary, National Treasury. You saw how much we are spending in various areas, especially expenditure heads, and more particularly on debt servicing and other CFS expenditures. And it is not a picture to be happy about. So we must look for ways of reversing this going forward. And that will require a lot of engagement in terms of coming up with prudent fiscal strategy, which will help us in sustaining macroeconomic stability while protecting priority development spending.
Central bank data shows that investment by banks in government securities has increased by about 150 billion shillings from 2.41 trillion shillings in the week ending January 23rd, 2026 to 2.56 trillion shillings in the week ending 7th August 2026. Rating agency Fitch said last year Kenya's banking sector performance would remain tempered by significant sovereign exposure via investments in securities. Banks are usually significant holders and traders of local debt, which covers proceeds raised from treasury bills and bond auctions. Brian George, NTV, Nairobi.